We're here at TEDxBeaconStreet, and I'm sitting down with Joe Goodwin, Iraq and Afghanistan veteran and recipient of the Bronze Star Award. Joe, thanks so much for sitting down.
Thank you for having me.
So start us off. Just tell us, what is your talk called and what's it about?
Sure. Well, the title of the talk is Prepare, Answer, Call, because my talk is about sort of those timeless civic expectations for service that sort of cross cultures and time frames, which is prepare to serve, answer the call to serve, and call to others. And so my talk is about how that impacted my life and my choices, and what maybe we could do about that going forward, and what the impact that might have on our society as a whole.
Yeah. So the call that you answered specifically was
For me, it was right after 9/11. I just graduated college, and so instead of going to the job I was going to take in Washington, drove to the recruiting station and enlisted in the Army.
Yeah.
So that started a journey over the course of the next 8 years, 6 of which we spent on active duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. Certainly an unexpected journey for me, but that was me answering a call in my way.
Right. And but of course, there's a larger issue, larger idea here. TED is all about ideas worth spreading.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I think, I started to think about right now our political climate seems so divisive, and it seems almost impossible to get anything done, let alone anything of substance. Then I look back to the era that my father was working in, that my mother has written about, and you see things like civil rights and voting rights, going to the moon, building the interstate highways.
Yeah.
All these amazing accomplishments that I know we can do as a country but seem impossible now. And so I started thinking, what is different? Well, in that era, something like 77% of Americans who represented us had served in Iraq, not Iraq, Afghanistan. 77% of Americans had served. And today those numbers are really slim. So I think it's harder when you've served with someone, when you have a common experience. And it doesn't need to be military. It could be a common experience in the Peace Corps. It could be a common experience in City Year or AmeriCorps, or Teach for America. Even if you think very differently ideologically than the person next to you, you're still going to listen to them and entertain their idea and be less likely to dismiss them outright, which we see so often. So that was the one variable I saw in that time to now. And so what I'm calling for here is a return to that level of service, compulsory or not.
All right, great. Well, very, very engaging talk for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your
No, it
service.
was my
Veterans
pleasure.
Day was just recently,
It
so
was indeed.
it's a little belated Veterans Day.
Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. Joe Goodwin. His talk is called Prepare, Answer, Call, and you can check it out at TEDxBeaconStreet.com.